Hey, what's going on everybody? Fan15 here, and today I've got my review for the Premium Bandai HGUC Neo Zeong 2 narrative version. That's a mouthful. As you can see, it is a very, very huge kit. It's going to take up a lot of shelf space, but it is quite beautiful. I love everything that they have done with this. Color scheme, a few little extra parts it's added on. It's really great. So, what we're going to do first, we're going to take a look at all the little extra bits that you get with it. Then we're going to look at the Sinanju Stein itself, and then we'll go into the actual Neo Zeong. Okay, so extra parts. There are quite a lot of them. Most notably, it's going to be right up here. You get about 8 of these beam axe handles that are left over from the original Sinanju Stein or Sinanju. A whole bunch of extra hand parts, which fortunately you don't have enough of the top of the hand armor to go on the back of them, but I'm sure you could use them for something else. And you actually do get 2 of the grenade launchers. Instructions say you only need to use 1, but I mean, you get 2 beam rifles, so obviously you can have 2 on either one. So get 2 of that. You do have all the original armor to make the original Neo Zeong. So if you just want a Neo Zeong in white and gray, you got the parts for it. And you do have all these extra little fan bits. You get 6 of these and 2 extra of the new ones that go on a few other places on here. So you got everything you need to make the original Neo Zeong if you want it. You also do get 1 extra big-ass thruster bell for whatever reason. I don't know why they gave you an extra one, but hey, real cool for you know, scratch build part or something like that, whatever you want to call it. And you do have 2 of these things here. These are for mounting the Psycho Effect Shard, which unfortunately I don't have. You do get quite a bit of accessories and weapons. You get 2 of the Sinanju bazookas, as well as the pieces to make it into collapsed form. You do get 2 Sinanju beam rifles, as well as enough parts to make 1 of the Sinanju Stein beam rifles. I decided to go ahead and do that with this one because I like the way the Stein rifle looks compared to the original. And you do get the little scope piece for that too, but obviously you can't have that mounted on top. You get 2 of the new beam axe handles, the long handled ones, as well as a little connector piece to connect them together. The beam effect parts, you get 1 of these long beam axe ones, as well as a shorter one, which they included 2 of each, but you know, you get what you get. And you get 2 of these clear yellow beam saber effect parts. You do get a 3rd one, but that one's like the really jagged looking one, the one that looks really cool in my opinion. However, the connector point on the end is square, and you have round beam saber handles. Oh, you do get, I think, 2 beam sabers, but I already have those somewhere else. Oh, and you do get this nice shield with the grenade launcher on the back. Okay, and here's the Sinanju Stein narrative version. I didn't really do much in terms of painting to it. All I did was paint in the red around here on the, I guess you call those thrusters or exhaust ports, I don't know what they are. And red inside the thruster bells here, as well as doing some chrome painting on the thruster bells itself. You do get water slides for everything on this except for the black and white bits up here for the sleeves markings. Those are actual stickers, unfortunately, and I didn't feel like having to paint this kit. I really didn't want to do much other than just detail painting, so put the stickers on, but I rubbed them in such a way to where it actually does look like it's kinda painted. I mean, it's better than just, you know, slapping it on and just leaving it. And basically, I put it on and I took a Q-tip, a sharp point Q-tip, and just kind of rubbed it in all over, because there is actual raised detail underneath those stickers. So if you did want to try a reverse wash technique, you know, it's pretty simple to do that. I just didn't want to. Of course, panel lined everywhere. Here on these fuel tanks, these red pieces here, those are stickers, but you do actually get water slides for that. I didn't realize that until after I already put them on and looked at the decal sheet. Oh, and the come here. The other thing that doesn't make sense is on the shield, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 water slide decals. These white pieces here, along with the 002, but the Neo Zeong symbol is an actual sticker. That makes no sense to me. Okay, and as far as painting for what I did on the Neo Zeong itself, I mainly just focused on these bits right up in here. I didn't like how it was all just kind of plain, because all these shoulder bits is just in that grayish type looking color. So I just put in a little bit of copper, silver, and some red right up along here, and I think it makes it stand out a lot more. Put in red right up in here, as well as a little dot right down here in the center. The black and yellow up here, those are just stickers. Again, I didn't feel like having to work too hard to paint that. Other stickers, these red bits here on the new parts for the shoulder, those are stickers, but this actual red up along in here, those are actually brand new red parts. So, thank God. And of course, all the water slide decals all over this thing. The only other painting that I did was up here on the thruster bells, as well as all the thruster bells on the back. I did that all in chrome. Alright, believe it or not, you do actually get some articulation with this kit. Not much, but some. Starting from the bottom, the front skirts here, remove just a little bit like that, as well as this small piece here, but it doesn't really hold anything. It's really just to kind of get out of the way for this moving. Up in here, to mount the Sinanju Stein in here, it simply just pulls up and right back down. So, get a little bit there. The arms themselves, see if I can do this without toppling the damn thing over. You can get some movement like this, up and down. The hand parts here do move a little bit, and they do kind of just shove right back up in there. Same thing for the arms on the back. And the other little thing that this does, up here along whatever you want to call these big pieces, these do pop out like so for the Psycho Shard effect. And to just give y'all a look at just how big this thing truly is from the side here, it's not only really tall, it's also really like wide or deep, whatever you want to say, because that back skirt goes back a long ways. So wherever you decide to put this, you need to make sure you have a lot of room if you decide to buy this thing. Okay, and now we have the Sinanju Stein narrative version in the Neo Zeong, and when it's in there you can really tell the color difference. The original Sinanju Stein, I think, is actually in more of this whitish, grayish type color, but the narrative version, the gray, is actually a lot darker, so it doesn't really match that well. I guess if you wanted to put the original Sinanju Stein in there, you probably could. I don't know, I don't have the original, so I can't test that, but in any case, it does look pretty cool up in there. Again, with all the new armor pieces, it doesn't actually seal it up like it does on the original Neo Zeong with the Sinanju, but it's still pretty cool. Okay, so the new gimmick for this kit, these new pieces for the shoulder armor here, they do pop off. They're just on little pegs in there, so it just pulls right out. And you store the beam rifles and the beam axes in these little things here. For the beam axe, pull this piece out, and it just connects right up in here, something like that. I think I did it right. And just goes right back on. Like I said, right back on. And the beam rifle, up here on the bottom, there's a little hole. There's a little peg right up in there. And it just sits on. If I can get it in. There we go. And then you just pop it right back on. Like I said, right back on. It is a little difficult to do behind the camera, but in any case, you do the same thing to the armor on this side. Unfortunately, since I put the Zeong rifle armor on, it makes it just a little bit too thick to where it won't actually fit in the holster for this side, but that's fine with me. I don't really care. I like the way this looks a lot better. You also do get this little attachment piece for both sides to where it actually kind of pops the armor out a little bit to where it looks like it's opening, but I like the way this looks a lot better. Alright, here he is posed up with the rifles and the bazooka attachments on. The bazooka attachments, they're the long ones, not the little short ones that you get, but the long ones, they just pop off and slide right into these holes up here. And of course the beam rifles just on his hands like that. I think that's a pretty cool pose there. And here he is holding his double beam axe as well as having all of the back arms deployed. Looks pretty cool. However, that is going to be the only position that he's going to hold that double beam axe. With how it's made and how they want you to hold it, that's the only way. It was a pain in the ass to get him to hold it like that. It took me longer than I care to admit. Though I probably won't keep him in that pose, but I do like how the back arms are deployed. Okay, so my final thoughts on this kit. I like it. It's a great looking kit. It's got a lot of shelf presence, which is what I look for in a lot of my kits. It's got a lot of accessories, a lot of different things you can do with it. Plus it just looks great, especially with the addition of that huge sheet of water slide decals. You know, they could have just given you stickers, but for once, a P Bandai kit actually has water slide decals. I don't know of too many that actually have that, but and also, you know, it's not just plain pieces everywhere. There is a lot of opportunity for panel lines and detail paints, and I tried to take advantage of that as best I could. I didn't really feel like painting the whole thing. The downsides, one would be the price, with it being P Bandai and of course how big this thing is. You're gonna pay a pretty penny for it. I think when I got mine it was about $300 or so. So it's probably gone up since then, I'm not really sure. Other downside, it is pretty much a brick. With the exception of the Zeong itself, the Neo Zeong doesn't have that much articulation, but then again, it's really just a big mobile armor, so it's only going to have a few little points that it can move. And the other downside would just be how big it is. I mean, it's a plus and a minus for me. I like how big it is, but at the same time, if you don't have the shelf space, there's really no point in getting it. This is where you're gonna put it. Because look at that. That's a big kit. You've got to have the space to put it. But if you can get past all those, it's great. You know, I would suggest picking it up if you have the opportunity to. And with that being said, that's going to do it for this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook at The New Type Builder. And hopefully I'll be pushing out some more videos here shortly. And with that, see you guys next time.